Welcome to the Game Time Set.
How you?
What up? What up?
Jeez, what's
How
up?
you doing, man?
Of course, the brotherhood. We're going to talk about Duke and the tournament in a second, but in the meantime, we got to talk about the Houston Rockets. So far this season, Mike D'Antoni, the offense, what's so great about your skill set that's been such a great fit with the scheme in Houston?
No consequences for any shots you take. I guess that's been the best thing, but really I've been able to fit in well. I think I added something they didn't have off the bench, especially on the defensive end. You know, you look at our starting lineup with Chris and James, a lot of times they bring me in early to guard those guys, the Damian Lillards and C.J. McCollums, you know. You can name any team in the West, so that's going to be a big role of mine in the playoffs. And then another guy who can score off the dribble, so adding that.
Austin, you mentioned roles, right? And for me, curious about the Rockets. You've played on many good teams, Clippers, now the Rockets, a lot of talent.
Right.
Where do you see yourself fitting in role-wise? You mentioned defensively coming off the bench. Overall, where do you see your role with this group?
This has been the easiest transition I've ever had since I've been in the league. More so than the Clippers, more so than obviously New Orleans and D.C. This has been the easiest situation I've ever kind of just slid right into. What they do is what I do well. We only shoot threes and we get to the rim. I don't really have a good mid-range game. I couldn't shoot it from the mid-range game like you guys. I either shoot it out there or, as JT and you guys know, I like to get to the basket. And then defensively, people really have not really talked about us on that end. But this year we've been a pretty good defensive team. And I really take pride in that. You know, that's something I enjoy doing. That has grown in my game, and they allow me to do what I want on the defense end and let me and PJ kind of run that end of the floor. So it's been fun.
I'm going to piggyback off what you said when you talk about your moves and in-game moves. You know, James Harden, the Beard MVP, has one of the deadliest moves in the NBA today with the killer step back.
Yeah.
But your go-to move, talk to me a little bit about it. My ankles still hurting from that Clipper series when you hit me with it. But that right-to-left crossover is deadly. Where did you get that from?
I didn't have that really in high school. I got it when I got to the league. I just started working on it. I used to kind of be more of a straight-line driver. My handle developed kind of my first couple years in the league. But that's my go-to right there is that right to left. And now when people sleep on it, I kind of have counters for it. But yeah, I remember that series. That was kind of my opening party to the league, was playing against you guys. So yeah.
Played well.
Yeah, that's my first time. That was fun.
I mean, we had this basketball right here since we're out on the court. I mean, could we get a brief demonstration, maybe a reenactment?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, bro. You don't make me guard him again. You played the defense, brother. I don't think I want that ice.
You don't want it?
I
got to take advantage. He in the full suit. Let me get him real quick, man.
You know, it is what it is. So we know Golden State's sitting at the top of the Western Conference. When you hear that Austin Rivers is the Splash Brothers stopper, you say,
oh
man.
He say he gonna cut the water off.
I say TBD, you know, to be determined, man. You know, with that team, I think we are the team that's built to be able to contend them. I really do believe that. I think we match up well with them. But I said this to someone else because the other day somebody in the media was saying, you guys are the team, you beat them 3 times this year. I said, nobody has their number until you beat them in a 7-game series. So until someone does that, they're still the champs. I do believe we can do it, but we got to do it. So we'll see.
March Madness, great time of year to be a basketball fan. NCAA, NBA playoffs approaching quickly. Obviously, people know you from being at Duke University, Blue Devil through and through. Talk to us about that experience, right? Everybody's going crazy about Zion Williamson, what his future is.
Oh,
this right here, I remember watching this and being impressed by the ice, water in the veins with the pull-up. Talk to us about that experience as a guy, 1 year at Duke, such high expectations, spotlight, people expecting you to do great things in your future. How do you live up to that and still be who you are?
Well, I think that's why the top players should go to Duke, in my opinion. It's an easy transition from there to the league in terms of just dealing with pressure. When you go to Duke, you have a lot of spotlight on you, and I think that sets you up for if you are one of these top players. When you go to the league, it even magnifies. And it's interesting this year because Zion has been the most polarizing player that I think Duke has ever had as a rookie since like Grant. You know, I mean, that's been the last guy. I mean, but Zion has this, especially with social media these days. They're comparing him to LeBron and all of these things. So it's been tough, man. He hasn't really been able to enjoy college as a kid, it seems like. It just seems like since he got there, these expectations have been so high, but he's been living up to it. And This is going to be fun, man. This tournament is going to be really exciting. I'm so glad he came back and played. I think that shows his true colors, and I have Duke winning, man.
So well, I mean, you got right there. Simple
as that. You're not going to put Arizona can't win it?
I don't know if the Wildcats
Arizona
be in the tournament.
You got to make it first.
Oh, we can play each other.
We're in the same tournament.
I want to ask you this, though.
No tournament.
What do you think Zion's impact is going to be if he decides to go to the next level?
If he decides?
I'm just saying, we just have to put that as a disclaimer. If he decides to make that jump, what type of impact will he have as a rookie?
I think he's going to have a big impact. You know, people are obviously dissecting his game, especially with the shooting. But with the way the game's played now and called now with fouls, I mean, imagine him coming at you full speed, you know, 275 pounds.
Taking that charge?
Break. It depends where we're at. If we out here, I am. If we're right here, we might have to.
Right. Business decision.
Yeah, a business decision right there. Yeah. So I think he'll be fine.